Hey, what is up everybody, Blazer here, and today for you guys another video of Persona 5X. Inside of today's video, we're going to be going over the build guide for the powerhouse woman herself, Makoto Nijima, or Queen. Now, this has been a video I've been wanting to do for quite a little bit here. I was trying to get Queen built up a decent bit, but she isn't the best just yet, though we do have exactly what you guys need to know of how to build this girl correctly and what you guys really should be looking in for, at least for teams and things like that. So if you guys are interested in things like this, be sure to sit back, relax, and enjoy the video. There will be timestamps down below, of course, but without further ado, let's get into the video. All right, so first things first is we're going to be taking a look at her awareness dupes. Pretty much, should you dupe her or not? And I'll straight up say it right now for those who really don't want to hear me yap too long on this. You really don't need to dupe her. She's perfectly fine at A0, but if you did want to dupe her, you would definitely want her A1. So let's go ahead and get to the reasons why. Now, with her at A0, she already does a ton for at least her character in general, which makes her hit like an absolute truck anyways. But with her A1, you're actually able to evaluate a little bit more on her passives. So with her passive, she usually likes to get a lot of tenacity stacks. And at the beginning of the battle, if you do have her A1, you're able to start off with 5 tenacity stacks. These tenacity stacks immediately throw you into Iron Will, which is this right here. And if you guys don't know exactly what Iron Will does, it's pretty much something that you're able to get 40% extra attack and 20% extra defense. This is actually insane. But with the A1 actually attached to this, not only are you getting, of course, the buff of everything with her stats and things like this, but you're actually able, instead of getting that 40%, you're also getting the attack percentage to 50%. So now it has jumped in a whole 10% for attack percent, which is actually amazing. This A1 is honestly crazy dummy for her, because that is a 10% attack increase. And if anyone remembers how Joker got his increase as well at his A1, it definitely makes a huge difference. I'm definitely going to be going for her A1 as well, but I would definitely say if you don't feel like pulling too much anymore, you can go ahead and just skip out on the A1 and just keep A0. But if you were going to go ahead and pull, go for A1. Now with her other dupes, you could very well get them A2 and I think A2, A4, they only increase just like the levels of her actual skills in general. A3 is pretty interesting as well, because it does help out the iron state, or at least the Iron Will state, in which increases her own pin rate, which is pretty darn decent. And then A6 is actually going to help out your Iron Will even more. But of course, the only people who are really going to be getting this are absolute whales. This is just going to be increased in turns, which will allow you to deal more damage for longer. And I'm not gonna lie to you, really good, crazy interesting. If you have the currency and you've been saving like that and you just want to blow it all on her, I would not freaking lie to you. This is dang sure worth it. And also pause for that statement. But anyways, let's go ahead and go to the next section. What should you prioritize for her skills? Checking out her skill priority, we're going to be looking at her persona, in which this one is very interesting. It actually is kind of like a straightforward type of deal, in which the things that you want to prioritize is going to first start off with the skill 3. Now the reason for this is because it actually helps out her whole kit as a whole, in which is just going to be, hey, I need to get my stacks up for Iron Will eventually. This is the best way to do it, because you're getting 2 of these tenacity stacks, or toughness stacks if you guys have the same translations as me. With these tenacity stacks that you're getting from this skill, not only does it deal a ton of damage, but you're also able to actually kind of set up the rest of her kit. Her kit's really going to revolve around these tenacity stacks, so doing the skill 3 first is definitely going to help you a lot more. This is just regular damage also, so I mean, like, it's really nice. Now, of course, once you use this skill, you really want to just get the Iron Will for it, because this is going to help you out in general for just massive damage. But then you can go ahead and focus on the skill 1 for our priority. Now, skill 1 itself is useful. Let's get it straight. It's useful. You would mainly be using it just for your all-out attack type. Like if you're doing like a ton of damage for waves, so like bunch of mobs, this is where this skill will shine. any type of thing that has a ton of mobs and things like that, this skill will absolutely shine and be more busted than you ever think, which is why I would prefer this one over the skill 2, seeing that not only are you getting that stack that you really do need, but you're also getting that extra damage later on if you are facing waves, making her a really powerful AoE as well. Now, with this in mind, the next thing that you want to go ahead and get up is going to be the skill 2, which is Nuclear Resonance. Nuclear Resonance is actually really good as well. It helps her out quite a lot when it does come down to healing, and it gives an attack power buff. The only thing I feel like is, since it is giving you just this buff and only heals, it's kind of taking away from her main thing, which is just dealing damage. She is a single target attacker at this point with an AoE skill. She's meant to just be out there battling, just straight up throwing hands the entire time, which is going to be the main deal that you want her for. So this is kind of the least of your worries when it does come down to at least what you want to upgrade, but it's still very useful. Lastly, you want to get up the combat skills for her highlight. This is really just an additional, hey, I can deal some damage with this in general. It's nothing too crazy. I would definitely suggest just doing this last. It's not anything that you really have to pay attention to like hardcore on, but that's just this here. That's the skill priority. So you would go with 3, 1, 2, and then the combat skills. But of course, at the end of the day, it's your account. You can do whatever you want, but this is definitely my recommended. But let's go ahead and get into the next one, which is going to be the weapon options. Alright, so if you're anything like me and haven't summoned for the weapon just yet, cough cough, and you still have the 4-star weapon, this weapon is actually really good for her. I won't lie to you, it really does help out for the attack percentage that she does need. It has a very interesting increase in attack, which instead of going with the 12% like if it's not duped, it can actually go all the way to a 24% attack boost increase. Alongside of this, you can also get more nuclear damage, so that starts off at 4.4% going up to 8% for each tenacity stack. So this is overall going to help out her kit, of course, with the 4-star. If you don't have the 4-star, please suggest to get it. Just sticking with a 3-star in this game is absolutely abysmal. Try to get your hands on at least one copy of the 4-star. Now, for the 5-star, the 5-star is a bit insane. Now, I'm trying to still get my hands on it. I haven't really pulled for it too much just yet, but I will be trying to get my hands on this thing 5-star weapon, because the 5-star weapon is a little too busted. This weapon itself not only increases her nuclear damage crazy amount, but it also increases her attack percent damage in general by 30%, and it will actually help out her kit. So for each stack of heat energy is really what you're going to be looking for. You're going to be getting a ton of things. Now, this is also going to kind of correlate with her Iron Will. With these stacks of heat energy, you're actually increasing your nuclear damage even more so, from 10% up to 60%. And then if you're somehow hardcore wailing like this, if I'm right, if you get this fully maxed up, it can go up to a high amount of 46.1%. And then for the actually heat energy stacks and things like that, it can go from 19% to 114%. Insane damage, insane utility. This is actually a really good weapon. It's one of the few weapons that for 5 stars, I mean, like, there are some that I would say, hey, you don't really necessarily need it, but I do say for her, you'd be kind of dumb not to go for this weapon. I'm not gonna lie to you, it'd be kind of dumb not to go for this weapon. It's actually hecka good. At least get one copy or at least one of it, and then you can just dip out of there. If you can't get it, try to get as many copies of the 4-star as much as possible, at least building pity, because that is really going to help you out for her overall performance. But now that we've went over all of that for the weapon options, let's go ahead and take a look at her best gear sets and things of that nature. Okay, so getting down to the best gear sets that we're going to take a look at. First of all, as I did tell you guys, I'm still trying to build up my girl, so she isn't the best as you can see just yet. But for the gear set that you want to go ahead and run, you want to check out this gear set, which is the Truth gear set, which is the nuclear heat one. This is the one that you're going to run with her, mainly because her team is really going to want her to have this as well. And then you want to have the actual arcane card being this one as well. This card is actually really good for her. It's going to help you out a lot when it does give you at least what you need in terms of elemental damage, which is this is going to help with just stacking and dealing overall damage in general. But by having the nuclear damage, you're already dealing more nuke damage than you really want to have, and this is absolutely amazing just to overpower the enemy. And then of course it's also going off that elemental abnormal state, which if we continue using her actual team, which will be like Bio in them, this will really make more sense. That it actually helps a ton when you have the team fully built, and it helps her out with her entire kit in general. Now, when it comes down to the stats that you want to go for, I actually have the horrible stats. These are just places right now. Main stat wise, of course, this was always going to be HP. When it comes down to the moon, use damage bonus. Damage bonus is absolutely amazing. Surprisingly, this piece isn't terrible because mainly all these stats went into crit damage and attack percentage. So I might keep this one, and I'm just gonna have to like hardcore farm the other ones to be good. But for this, you want to have damage bonus. This one here, I would suggest crit rate. Definitely, it does not matter. And then we'll go over substats in a second. But crit rate has to be the main stat. And then when it comes down to the Saturn piece or the planet piece, you want to have attack percentage, because at the end of the day, she is an attacker, she is a DPSer. Attack is going to help you out quite a lot. So those are going to be your main stats. Now, coming down and looking into the substats category, I would definitely suggest you guys to try, if you already have, of course, on damage bonus one, I don't think you're going to be able to get damage bonus here. So this will be a little bit different for substats, but try to get your hands on like crit rate, some extra just attack percentage, damage bonus, things of that nature. Anything that will help you out or just her overall thing. She doesn't really need speed too much. I mean, like, you could use speed on her, I wouldn't really suggest it, but attack percentage, crit rate, damage bonus, defense ignore, or pin rate, I think is what a lot of people have it. Those are going to be your main things that you really want. If you can get those on, she will be absolutely amazing, because she's meant just to shred the enemy in general. So the more defense to ignore, the better, or more pin rate, the better. She's going to deal a ton of damage. But that is going to be her actual sets. Now that we've went over the set, let's go ahead and go over her best team comps. So when it comes down to her team comps, this is going to be one of them that I've had multiple people end up testing, and I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm kind of mad I still don't have the character. Okay, it's definitely gonna rely on VO. If you do not have VO, please summon for her. It will definitely be worth it. So coming down to exactly what we're going to be using, first of all, I would definitely say if you're going to be using Wonder, use the attack weapon instead of the defense weapon. It will not help you too much if you are using the defense weapon, but currently I'm using my defense set on this team because technically this is my Yusuke team. But let's act like he's on the attack and he has his attack personas on. With this, you want to go ahead and use Makoto. I'll just put Leon here to act like VO. And then lastly, you would like to use Soy. Soy is going to help you out for the defense shred as well when it does come down to this team. And of course, it's going to be more of that elemental type deal that's going to really exploit Makoto's best features. So once again, act like this is VO here. Doing this team, you're really going to be centering Makoto a lot, especially making her that main DPS that she needs to be. VO is going to offer a lot of things such as like damage taken increase. It's going to be nice to actually get that nuclear damage increase and things like that. While Soy is going to be, of course, the defense shredder. It's going to give your team a lot more of that survivability and things like that to keep them more on their toes and actually alive. This is kind of the budget team. Oh, sorry, I forgot to put Okeon here. And you want to have Okeon as well because it's going to help you just be more offensive. It's going to help you out with your attack. It's going to help you out with the damage dealt and things of that nature. This just pretty much is a straightforward team that's actually kind of a budget team, seeing that we are running 2 4-stars, or well, technically 3 4-stars in this team. Now, as for the other team is a little bit more pay to win a little bit here, in which you want to use Marion, Bio, and Makoto. Reasoning for this is because Marion here at A1 is absolutely amazing. she actually does a lot for the team. Not only is it just going to be the healing, but you're able to actually get rid of debuffs on your characters, making less debuffs for you, the more you can kind of pump out without being of that hindrance and things like that. You're also able to get your bless stacks up that you really do need to keep your characters alive. And then at A1, she's actually able to give you more defense ignore or pin, which will help you out with Makoto's overall monstrous damage. Now, this only works if she is A1. Unfortunately, I won't be able to use this team because I have her A0, but at A1, she's actually kind of cracked. Now, of course, if you can't use Marion and you really don't want to use Soy, but you still want to have some survivability here, Morgana does work. At the end of the day, it's pretty nice to have Morgana in here, but it's not the optimal situation. And which I mean, like, hey, it's pretty okay. It's pretty okay. At the end of the day, you could go ahead and use Morgana, but it would definitely be better if you are using the A1 Marion. Anything above with Marion that's just A1, A2, things like that, it's just additional, but A1 is definitely necessary if you wanted to run Vio, Marion, and Makoto. This is absolutely amazing. I would definitely say is going to be your go-to. Now, when it does come down to the personas that you would like to run with our man Wonder, I haven't really checked out a ton that I want to do here. Just make sure you have his weapon on the attack weapon. This is overall going to help you out since this is an offense-based team. So having this attack weapon on and actually having some attack related just characters, or at least personas in general, will help you out. You very well could try to get a speedy persona up here. Having Titania in your team is actually really nice as well, because she does have concentration and she could be a decent healer if you wanted to build her that way as well. I would definitely suggest bringing her as kind of a supporter type nuke persona, but you want to have a DPS nuke persona, in which I have not built the newest one just yet, so look forward to that. But other than that, with those out of the way, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, smash that like button beforehand, consider subscribing if you are new. We're going to be pumping out a lot more of these team comp videos very soon, or at least these character videos very soon, because I've been lacking on making these build guides, mainly because I like to try to get my characters somewhat perfect before I make these videos. I'm a little bit of a perfectionist with that, but I'm going to try to get over that and actually start building these characters for you guys, at least to a minimum amount, so you can actually see exactly how this does work. But till then, everybody, see you later.